Welcome, pilots! This is my second video on the 2022 Winter Nexus event, where I'll take a look at the Wightstorm Forward Base sites. If you're looking for more information on the event in general, you can check out my first video on the comms relay data sites. Towards the end of the video, I'll provide some commentary geared towards alpha pilots. These combat sites can be found in high-security systems with a volatile ice storm. This provides a system-wide effect that increases your thermal resists and reduces the damage from overheating active modules. They appear in your probe scanner window as combat anomalies, or as beacons on your overview once someone has warped to the site. You'll land on an acceleration gate, which allows up to battleship-class ships to enter. Inside the site, you'll land amongst a collection of snowy asteroids near a Sancha battle tower structure. Shortly after landing, a group of elite Sancha NPCs will spawn. The exact makeup of this group varies, with some combination of frigates, cruisers, or battlecruisers. In my playthroughs, I've seen as few as 2 battlecruisers, or as many as 7 frigates and 2 cruisers. The frigates may hit you with energy neutralizers, stasis webifiers, and warp scramblers. Cruisers may also hit you with energy neutralizers or stasis webifiers. The battlecruisers are there to pummel you with high DPS. The majority of the incoming damage is EM and thermal, though there is some kinetic and explosive as well. Most of these ships will try to orbit you at about 12 kilometers. Shortly after destroying the first group, the commander named the Sancha's Dire White Stormlord will warp in flying a battleship. His exact landing position varies. He'll hit you with a warp disruptor and stasis webifier. The commander appears to always drop 3 Overseer's effects in the 6th to 14th tier range. He may also drop event-themed boosters, filaments, fireworks, or skins. The Cerebral Accelerator is perhaps the best potential drop. I didn't try out these sites during last year's event, so this was my first attempt. I chose to use a blaster-fit Deimos with an active armor tank and uniform resist profile. I included an 800mm armor plate to give me some extra buffer. In the mid-slots I included an afterburner, cap battery and cap recharger, and a stasis webifier. Having run the site a handful of times now, the only change I might make is to swap the multi-spectrum energized membrane with an EM membrane. I might also swap the flight of warrior drones for a second flight of acolytes. I found it was much better to use approach or keep at range than orbit when engaging with the frigates and cruisers. In my first attempt at the site, a paladin came in at the end and sniped the battleship before I could even get in range. Marauders seemed to be the most popular choice, which I personally think is a bit unfortunate for younger pilots trying to compete. I kind of wish these events would include several versions of these combat sites, with one of them geared towards alpha pilots and the other having better rewards. As it is, I feel like these sites aren't even worth running when you consider the disparity between the rewards and the cost of the ships that are being used to blitz them. I personally don't even have the Marauders skill trained. I was curious if Marauder pilots were bringing a mobile tractor unit with them, but then checked their bonuses and noticed that they share a common roll bonus on tractor beam range. If you're a solo alpha pilot and you're determined to try out these sites, you'll probably want to avoid systems with active Marauder pilots. I don't have an alpha character set up with intro-level battleship skills, so I'm not in the best position to recommend a specific fit. I did actually come across one site where someone recently lost their battleship. But based on my limited experience so far, these are my general guidelines for an active armor tank fit. You'll want your EM and thermal resists up near 80% each, and your kinetic and thermal up near 50%. You'll be facing some amount of energy neutralization, so a cap battery is important. And I suspect you'll fare much better if you're not only cap stable, but have some excess recharge rate as well. Having an armor plate will help you get through the initial wave. I filled my rig slots with auxiliary nanopump rigs to get my armor repair rate up as high as possible. I suspect the main challenge for younger pilots trying out these sites in a battleship will actually be dealing with the frigates. You'll need some way of applying significant damage to them, which means finding a way to limit their speed tank. Target painters might be one option, as they increase your target's signature radius. Stasis webifiers will slow the frigates down, but since they orbit outside the 10-kilometer range, you'll have to overheat these modules. Choosing a ship with missile hardpoints and a large drone base such as the Armaggedon will ensure you'll apply damage to all ship classes. I was able to complete the site in a prophecy without too much trouble, which gives me some comfort in saying that an alpha pilot flying a larger ship like the Armaggedon should be possible. My prophecy fit follows the same idea as the Deimos Fit, but uses missile guidance computers with precision scripts to help apply damage to the frigates. In my playthrough with the prophecy, the initial group had 7 frigates and 2 cruisers, so it was a good test to see how well the heavy assault missiles applied damage to the frigates. If you're looking to copy this fit, also be aware that the engagement with the end battleship involved lots of micromanagement with the drones. And even so, I did lose one of my praetors. The fits for the Deimos and Prophecy are in the description box below. And that's all I have for the Winter Nexus event. I'm currently in the midst of releasing my 13-part series on Sanchez Nation high-security combat sites. My past work includes similar 13-part series on the Serpentas, Garistas, Angel Cartel, and Blood Raiders. No matter where you might be in high-security space, you can check out those videos right now. You can find all of my EVE Online content on my website over at RileyEntertainment.com. Thanks for making it to the very end, and I hope to see you back on my channel soon.